Hey, you might be someone that's waiting on somebody, maybe based on the few tarot readings, channeling and whatnot that you're hearing or watching on YouTube or anywhere else, however you're accessing these things. I just want to tell you, irrespective of what the word stands for, right? I mean, when you hear something like a twin flame, a soulmate, everything changes for you. You start to think of these relationships as extremely special, extremely deep, rare, very meaningful, very in depth, something that was meant to be. And you might be someone, this is for whoever needs this message. I mean, this message does not have to be for everyone. If you are someone for many years, you're waiting on someone, right? You're waiting on someone to show up, and it's never happening. They're always in the process. You're always in the process. They always show up differently in the readings and differently in real life. So, what I want to tell you is with readings, if it's not a personal reading and it's a collective reading, then it's tapping into the energy of the collective, a similar energy, right? So, many people are going through many different things, and something that's common among everyone is going to be the highlight of the reading, right? Why I want to talk about this is, if as I said, you're waiting on someone, and maybe in those readings or the messages you receive, you might receive messages differently through music. You might have psychic senses. I mean, you might be clairaudient or clairsentient, whatever it is that you sense these things. These are all valid. These are not invalid, so you don't have to doubt yourself. But on the downside, what I mean is, the person always shows up differently in the physical for you versus energetically, right? And if you are someone that's very attached to these words, the twin flames and the soulmates, the special bonds, I mean, I just want you to be a little careful and be very practical, because when people say twin flame and soulmates, it seems very fairy tale like, and when it's fairy tale like, you don't want to give up on those things. You want these things because it's special, and you feel like you waited lifetimes or something. Well, I don't know your storyline, but irrespective of whatever the labels are, twin flames, soulmates, you should really consider what's happening in the now, in the real, in the practical. Because there are stories that get labeled as twin flame, soulmate, whatnot. I mean, you've been together for what, lifetimes and blah 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 blah. But that person just does not show up for you in the physical, in the real. In your reality, that person is not present in the reality. And you're there, you know, always listening to these readings and stuff like this, years and years. You've been waiting years, you've been spending years and years just thinking about, okay, today, okay, tomorrow, this person's really close, close, close. But you never see them in your reality. And this is my request, that you should consider what's happening in your reality more than this energetic thing, because a person might feel differently for you energetically, right? Someone might really adore you, someone might really care for you and love you, but they might keep everything in their heart for whatever reason. They're just not telling you these things. And if they're not telling you these things, what are you going to do alone? I mean, as long as someone does not tell you, you can't do anything about it. You don't know anything about it. Can you force it? No, you can't. Should you force it? No, you shouldn't. It's not natural. And especially in certain relationships where the relationship is extremely toxic, and then somehow some people still hold on to it because they label it as a twin flame or a soulmate. It does not matter what soulmate, what twin flame it is. As long as someone is not treating you right, everything goes to the trash. No labels, nothing can save you. What has to happen will happen. Sometimes you're too attached to the storyline of how things should look like, how things should feel like, but sometimes the reality might be extremely different than what you're hearing someone, picking up on, like channelings, or someone picking up on, your specific energy or your storyline, whatever it is. It's true. I'm not saying it's not true, but whatever is happening inside that person's heart. You know what I mean? It's within them. They haven't put it out yet. Also, you don't have to stay in certain relationships because these relationships could be abusive, it could be horrible, they might treat you like trash, and then they give it names like, oh, this is how the relationship is supposed to be because it's extremely magnetic. It's trash. If you don't feel good, what are you going to do? Just because a relationship has a label, it's not even proven, right? Someone, and I will tell you this, a lot of people will pick up on the energies, call it um twin flame, call it soulmate. It might not even be that. It might not even be that sometimes. And I don't want to burst your bubble. I'm not trying to make you feel hopeless, but I'm saying, in the name, in the label of certain relationships, it's not right for you to suffer. As long as the person does not show up for you, as long as the person does not treat you right, no labels is going to save it. And I just want to tell you that don't be in the traps. You're always free. You're always free. In life, this thing happens. Sometimes you're too stuck on a person thinking, oh, this is my soulmate, this is my twin flame. And then life takes you a 360, everything changes, and then you're like, where is the soulmate? I mean, where is the twin flame? You can't find it because sometimes life takes you on a different journey altogether. And you can't be attached to labels because reality, the universe, call it whatever you want, it's extremely bigger than just these two words. There might be someone that might not be labeled as a soulmate or a twin flame, but you might click with someone amazingly. Like, it might be hard for you to believe. Who knows? Who knows? God put somebody in your way that was extremely amazing. And they don't carry these labels, but it does not mean you drop it because they don't have the labels and you're attached to the toxic person just because they carry these labels. It's not right to be in certain relationships just because it carries a certain name, which you don't even know if it's true or not. And being honest, sometimes the love you carry for a person might make you feel like it's a certain relationship. All the weird trauma, the magnetic, the torturous feeling of the twin flame that they describe, that happens even when you just genuinely love a person. It happens. So you might even feel like that person is your twin flame or whatnot. Some people will never show up for you. They will never show up. Not in this lifetime. And it's better to skip these labels and see where your heart goes. Always trust your heart. Your heart never lies to you. If something is wrong, it's going to, the red light is always on. It's always indicating that something is wrong. But what happens is, our logical mind, like, you're so in love or you're expecting someone, you know, that you always forget to notice these signs and spend years in waiting for something that's not even there, or someone who's like a ghost, who's only like there in the stories but never in the reality. Or there's a person that you're seeing who never wants to meet you because of their, it does not mean that they don't like you, but it only means that they're not prioritizing you. Oh yeah, this is the word. If they don't prioritize you, your choices, your needs, your happiness, I mean, what is it even? And I don't think anyone deserves to suffer in the name of some labels. Life takes a very different direction sometimes, where you will move extremely far away from these labels because you grow as a person, you understand. Your personal journey matters the most than being attached to these labels. Sometimes it might break you, it might hurt you, but when you become an individual that knows what you want, what is good for you, and you make choices for yourself, that's when things start to change for you. You want to remain single, that's your choice. You want to be with someone, that's your choice. But don't force yourself into anything just because it carries a certain name. Because sometimes these things are very dangerous. Some people don't know where to draw the line just because it's a sometimes I don't want to be rude, but sometimes it's a fancy word. You know what I mean? Like it grabs too much attention, and the person is just suffering, and like what, they're too scared. They're like, oh my god, this is my twin flame. Oh my god, this is my soulmate. What if I miss them? What if it doesn't happen again? This is my one chance. It's not winning a lottery. If someone genuinely values your heart, they're going to be with you, and that is love. It's not a trophy, lottery, it's not winning, it's not the prize, it's not a competition, it's your life. So take care of yourself and make sure you don't fall into the traps that you don't need to fall into. It's not necessary for you. You're very powerful, you're very discerning, and make decisions wisely. See what aligns with you, what is right for you, instead of just getting, you know, what's the word? I can't find the word. What's the word for carried away? Yeah. You don't have to get carried away. I don't know about the current situation, but a few years ago, these words were like, oh my god, these words were so heavy, like the twin flame and the soulmates. These words were used very heavily, like it could influence somebody's life. And then those people who said it's extremely toxic, it's going to feel very painful, but that's what this relationship is about. This is how this relationship is supposed to feel. It feels extremely magnetic, it feels so intense. And what happens in the end? What happens in the end? You end up knowing that that person is cheating on you. You end up knowing that he was a narcissist, she was a narcissist. What happens? And then one day you're gonna be sitting there and be like, oh, but this was my twin flame. Oh, they hurt me. It doesn't work like that. Cut the label sometimes. Don't put label on these things. You see a person, you know a person, you know how you're being treated. If you don't feel good about it, let it go. Let it go. You see a person, you know a person, you feel good about it, someone's treating you right. It's your choice to move forward. That's it. Make the right choice. I don't want you to hurt yourself. This is my only intention. And I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.